Oh, let's see anybody up this morning. I'm running a little late. Or actually, I'm walking a little late. I don't run much anymore. Yeah, and it's not because of my bones or, muscles or anything. It's really mental. It's just balance and stuff like that. I just can't react as fast. So I got to be careful when I'm out here dodging traffic and stuff. Oh, I see. We do have people up. Nobody. I thought everyone would be at church. Whatever you do on Sunday morning, having brunch somewhere, love in life. Yes, love in life. Boy, that's hard to work on, isn't it? But it's the only thing worth working on in a way. The other side, we have to sort of support ourselves, right? And that's the important thing. And then to me, it's, how do you give love to the rest of the world? Because that's the most selfish thing to do, I think. The problem is finding some deserving bastard to love. But it's depending on how you look at the world. But we're all struggling, so there's no difference between all of us. And so I think if we have that in mind, that sort of eases the pain of trying to get through all this nonsense. But, helping to get through all this nonsense is the help that's available. Now, it's not easy to get. It's not everywhere. There's not a magic thing like everybody's going to get the money or whatever. It's just that there's trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, now it was about $2 trillion. This year alone is about $4 trillion. So it's doubled. So this stuff is all over. And that means like $30,000, $40,000 per family. I mean, it's incredible stuff. But it takes work. And you may or may not get it. But I have 7 new programs that I found that just really started today. They showed up on the internet today. And I want to tell you about them. And it's not so much because a lot of them are local. See, that's where the money is. It's local. And you have to start learning how to look locally in your community, in your state, for programs. Because there are all kinds you never even knew to ask about. That's why I used to wear the question mark suit all the time, because we didn't know the questions to ask. But now I say, well, that's still important, but I think hearts are more important, because if your heart's not in it, you're not going to find this help you need. If your heart's not in it, you're not going to go through all the bullshit that's required to get ahead in this world. So that's why I feel that hearts are more important than questions now, and I want to speak from the heart too, because I think if all of us do that, we have a nicer life. Well, here's one. There's a $400,000 given out to snowmobile businesses. Actually, snowmobile clubs. That's right. If you're in Maine, you could get something like almost $100,000 if you're a snowmobile club, right? Because this is a big business. They got thousands and thousands of employees, in the snowmobile business up there, So they have a grant. There's a local. See, the thing is that not that you're not in Maine and can't take advantage of it. To think that, God, look they're doing that in Maine. What the hell are they doing where I live? That's where you have to start digging out. Okay, now all these links I'm going to put in for these programs. You want to know the programs I'm going to talk about? I'll put them in when I get back home from my run, walk, or whatever you want to call it. I'll be back probably within the hour or so, and I'll put it in the description section. And of course, the Lesko Help members will get a report on this too. So if you're a member of Lesko Help, so that's one. So $400,000 they're giving out. Okay, here's one. Apprentice tools, grants to buy tools if you're an apprentice program. Okay, what's an apprentice program? Apprentice programs, and this is in Minnesota. So, but every state has apprentice programs, and they're great. And they're from your local career one-stop, you can find out, because it's a way you get paid to learn. In other words, most of it, if you want to learn something and get a job in it, you usually have to go and pay some school or college or something like this. No, this is a program where they pay you to learn. And like you study a day or two, and then you work in the field a couple of days, but you're making a decent wage, not big money, but a wage to live on. So after a couple of years, these are really big time jobs. They could be as much as $90,000 a year with no college degree. I mean, typically we used to think of apprentice programs, you're a steel worker or something like that, or carpenter, or, and they're the typical, but now they're much more. You could be a childcare worker, they have an apprentice job, a chef, an apprentice job, a fashion designer. All kinds of things now are dependent because our economy is changing. The apprentice program was set up during the industrial age, and now we're no longer there. So it's changing, but how it's changing and what it is depending on where you live. So you have to check. Now, this is in Minnesota, and it's grant to pay for stuff. So in other words, if you're getting a job and say your apprenticeship for being a chef, and you need, I don't know, maybe $500 of knives to have or something like that. So there's grant money for that. So that's the kind of grant money we're talking about. And if you're a carpenter, you need maybe $2,000 worth of stuff. And so they have grant money for that. Plus you're getting a wage. So you're not paying to go to school. They're paying for you to be there. Okay. Here's another neat grant for teachers, from K till 12, okay? And this is from a company called Energy United, and they're giving out $2,000 grants to teachers who have new ideas about teaching. Okay, now with this COVID going on, right? I'm sure ideas are flying out of the ears of thousands and thousands of teachers because it's all so screwed up. I don't know how we're going to get through this teaching stuff and school, with all this. So the teachers must have bright ideas. And this is a company called Energy United. And that's available, and it ends September 15th. These are brand new things that just became available, and so you have to know about them and so start learning where these kinds of things are, what to look at, and so you start tuning in locally. See, everything in life is not, you can't parachute in and make $1 million and run out of town. Some people do that, I guess, but I think most of us won't be able to. And what most of us have to do is go through the learning period of how to do it. Whether you're starting a business, I used to think it used to take, no matter how good my idea was, at least 3 years to start a business before I become a successful. In other words, everybody thinks, I'm going to, by Thursday, I'll be a gazillionaire and I'll do this, business plan. Look how rich I'm going to be in 6 weeks. and all that is bullshit, And what you have to really do, particularly nowadays more than ever, is grind it out. You got to be there and go through dozens and dozens of blind alleys before you start learning what it takes for you to do this, not what other people do. They're different. We're all different in this world. So you have to learn step by step how you're going to learn to walk. Some other 1-year-old could come up to you and say, hey, all I do is put this foot in front of the other and I go, and hey, how you doing? It doesn't work that easy, right? You have to do it yourself and figure out the balance nonsense, like learning to ride a bike or something. And it's going to take time. So you just don't get on the bike and run off. It takes practice and time. And so all your life, you want to change your life completely? Well, it's not going to happen by the end of the week. And and it's probably won't happen in any website I give you today. You may get lucky and have. But more importantly, I think, is that you learn the kinds of things that are out there. So your mind expands so you can take advantage of reality. But we all bullshit in our heads. We don't know what it is. Where it came from, we all know that it doesn't work. Right? Everything we try to do, it's not working. So something's wrong. So because what we learned is in a different time. Life changes too quickly around us now, and we have to start learning new stuff. And that's it. Okay, here's Virginia Beach. Okay, for artists or artist groups, you get $5,000. Virginia Beach, brand new program. Okay, what do you mean there? No money? Well, yeah, somebody doesn't have money, but somebody else does. Look at all the rich people in this town. So it's there. You could complain and do nothing, and that's easier to do, certainly. But otherwise, man, you gotta. You just got to dig deeper. That's what I always felt my whole life. When my businesses failed and everything, is that's the only time I really grew, I feel. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, you got to go to the hospital and have operations and but it's really the growth, the intellectual growth, and the growth in your soul or whatever really comes more from hard times. Anybody could handle good times, right? That's what I used to say. Having a good business is easy. All you have to know is get the money, go to the bank. Get the money, go to the bank. Anybody could do that. That's easy. Yeah. But most of the time you're going to fail. So that's what you have to prepare for, And actually now you don't even have to go to the bank. You just do it electronically. But that's my old thing from 40 years ago or whatever. We used to walk to the bank and make a deposit. What the hell is that? Nobody knows anymore. So there's art groups, okay? Individual artists, $5,000. And this is from Virginia Beach, Virginia. See, this is the kind of thing that's happening. And these are brand new programs, just came up, in the last few days. Okay, here's a town. I never heard of it. Pulaski. Wow, that sounds Polish. I'm Polish or Slovak. I got to find out where this is. Pulaski, Virginia, somewhere out in the Southwest Virginia. And what they're doing is giving $10,000. This is the town, a little town in the middle of nowhere, and it's for businesses and nonprofit organizations. And they give out $10,000 for rent, supplies, utilities. They have $3 million. Pulaski, Virginia. Look that up. I wonder how big that really is. What do they got? 5 people? They're all going to get $500,000 apiece, I guess. That's a terrible racist joke, isn't it? Or maybe it's height. What would you be if you're discriminating against how tall somebody is, or I don't know. Anyway, so that's I believe it is more Western Virginia. Yeah, I see Southwest Times. That's the newspaper. I found it in today. And so Western Virginia. Yeah, there's not a whole lot out there. Yeah. You're going to run into West Virginia first. But $5,000, and this is a grant, not paid back, nonprofit organizations also. So that's another one. Okay, Centralia. That sounds like I know where that is. Where is Centralia? Anybody know where Centralia is? They have a grant, just came out, and it ends 5 p.m. September 10th. See? You only have a few more days. And this was just announced on the 4th. It's over by the 10th. See, that's why all this COVID stuff disappears quickly. Please send info on California. Okay, you have to do that work. I'm telling you right now, I can't. There are hundreds of thousands of programs all over. I do not have an instant database. Oh yeah, here's all the ones in California. No, you have to start learning the system on how to find it where you live. When I talk about programs here, I'm talking about, these are the kinds of things to look for. That's the important part. You got to know what to look for. You just can't go and say grants. You got to start learning. If you want to know a little bit more about that stuff, I set up a free place where there's 35 videos for free you could watch on the kinds of things every state has. I have 35 little videos, and if you go to www.free.lesko.com and then /Lesko member, go there. I got so it's www, put the W's in because some reason that thing has to work with www, free.lesko.com /Lesko member. And those 35 videos will start educating you about the kinds of things and what to look for and where in your state government. Okay, Centralia Downtown Association has business survival grants. That's right. I mean, I heard some estimates, anywhere from 20 to 45% of all small businesses are going to disappear, because of this thing. Okay, and they're giving out by September 10th at 5 p.m. $2,500 to $5,000 for small businesses to pay rent, utilities, expenses in order to stay in business. Now, also you could be, and it depends, but even if you're not incorporated or anything, LLCs or all that kind of bullshit, no, you apply anyway. Most of them do that. And you just have to find out what they consider a business, and that will be plain in the application. I can't tell you because it's different every place else. So if you're making money by yourself or any way else, you're making money without on a payroll, you're a business, theoretically. Now you have to see if the program you're interested, what they consider a business. But in general, yes, you're not paying a personal income volume. You have a Schedule C. That's how you should be doing it locally. And for your taxes. And if you're really confused on what to do, then you could go to your local Small Business Development Center, and you go to a website called Americas, AMERICAS, and then right next to that, you put SBDC for Small Business Development Center.org, and you put in your zip code, and you'll get your local office. Every county has an office. Help you for free with any kind of business problem or freelancing problem, working from home problem, anything like that. So you don't have to pay any accountant or lawyer or stuff like that to find out. All that stuff is for free. Okay, here's the last one. Knoxville is accepting proposals if you want to help the homeless. Okay. So here's a grant. They have $2.2 million. If you're interested in helping people not become homeless, so that's helping them pay rent, utilities, things like this. And see, this is another thing what you have to listen to about this, because this is a grant, okay, that the city has. They give it to you to give, then you give out money to people to help pay their rent and utilities, see? But now, if you need money to pay your rent and utilities, you want to know about these organizations that do this. And what you could do is you go to your county government. That's where they get this money from, is the county government. And you're looking for community development office. They're the people in charge of making sure people, don't get thrown out of their houses and all this kind of stuff. It's called community development at your county office, to find these nonprofits where you live that can help you pay your utilities, that can help you do this stuff. 211 is supposed to do that too, but sometimes it's hard, long time to get in their database and all this kind of stuff. So really the horse's mouth is really the community development office at your county government, okay? So you just find out what county you're in. If you're not sure, then you call your local library and see if they're working or not. And they may be online or something like that to do. I think I saw something with unemployment insurance. If you have problems with the pandemic unemployment insurance, call your elected official. Your elected official, and call their office. They're set up, to work with your state unemployment office. They know that. Anybody else? And I would call your state elected official here. You could also call your federal, but your state may be better. It's all going to depend on the people you run into and all. There's a lot of variables in this thing. But you have 2 federal senators that go to Washington. You have 1 congressman that go to Washington. And then you have probably 3 or so local people who go to your state capital. So those 3 people and the 3 people in Washington, you probably have 6 people that you could call that want your vote and will help you. How do you find them? You could call your local library, or you could go to commoncause.org, and you want to put Find My Representative. commoncause.org, Find My Representative, okay? And I'll have all these links in the description in YouTube, and the members will get a report with this, okay? And thanks for putting up with me. I just hope I'll be still here tomorrow to have fun like this. Yeah, it's great to make a living, making a fool of myself. Actually, my parents did not admit I was their son for the first like 10 years on TV when I was acting silly on TV, and, doing Oprah and Letterman and all that kind of stuff. Because I knew that's what got me on TV, and I'd rather get 10 minutes free to advertise what I'm doing on TV just for acting like a fool. I like it. It's something I just like. It's sort of obvious. Instead of paying $50,000 for a commercial. So that's why, to me, it's sort of like learning how to use the system. You don't need money. There's always alternatives. People who make a lot of money say that you need a lot of money to succeed. And that's bullshit because they want to sell you something. There's always other ways. And so to be resourceful, you have to think about other ways instead of what the people who have a lot of money are doing. They can do it that way. They have a lot of money. You don't. So you got to think of another way. And there's plenty. I never started any of my businesses with money. There's always other ways. Take care.